GCSE maths, looking at probably the nastiest ratio question that you can get. Definitely grade 9 material, okay, for GCSE maths. Okay, so we are given literally this, okay, so this ratio, x squared plus 4x to the ratio 3x plus 5 is equal to 3 to 4, where x is obviously greater than 0, so bigger than 0, and we're asked to find the value of x. Now, there's a few things that you note here. Now, firstly, this factor you may not have obviously seen before. If I've got two ratios that are equal to each other, okay, I can say that the first part of the ratio, so x squared plus 4, okay, or plus 4x I should say, okay, if I divide that by 4, oops, sorry guys, apologies about my handwriting, okay, apologies about that, so x squared plus 4x, and I divide it by 3x plus 5, that has to equal, okay, so for this to be true, that has to equal to 3 divided by 4, okay? So that is just a factor that you know, okay? So if two ratios here are equal to each other, so yeah, if I have A to B and it's equal to the ratio C to D, then we see that A over B has to equal C over D, okay, for that to be true, okay? So that is the fact here to obviously learn, yeah, obviously remember, okay? In terms of proofs here, there's not really a hell of a lot of, way to obviously prove it, okay? It's just a fact here to remember, okay? So, if I have one ratio equal to like another ratio, I can say, okay, the first part of the first ratio divided by the second part of the first ratio has to equal the second number or the second value of the second ratio divided by the second value here of the second ratio, okay? So yeah, so this over this is equal to this over this, okay? So I'm now going to solve it, so I'm going to times up, so yeah, cross multiply, so times up through by 4 and by 3x plus 5, so we're going to get 4x squared plus 16x, okay, has to equal to 3 lots of 3x plus 5, so 9x plus 15, okay? I'm going to subtract 9x on both sides and subtract 15 on both sides. Okay, so I'm obviously, yeah, got a quadratic. So minus 9x and minus 9x and minus 15 and minus 15. Okay, so I'm going to minus 15, yeah, see minus 15 here. Okay, when I do that, okay, we are going to get a quadratic, which is 4x squared. Okay, 16x minus 9x makes plus 7x, so positive 7x. And we got minus 15 is equal to 0. I've got a quadratic equation which I can now obviously solve either by factorizing, completing the square, or the quadratic formula. Okay, I'm going to try and obviously factorize here if I can factorize it. I'm going to try, okay, 2x and 2x first here to see if that's any look. Okay, so 2x and 2x. Okay, again, I'm doing it obviously by trial and error. There is obviously an AC method, a bit more, formal. Okay, but where you do obviously the A times C, okay, so the value of A, which is the coefficient of x squared, times by the constant, so the C, so work out from there. But yeah, I'm just gonna do obviously by trial and error. Okay, but see what I get. So factors of 15 are gonna be 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Okay, if I put a 5 here, that's going to give me a 10. Okay, that's going to give me a 6. Okay, there's no way I can make 7 from that. Okay, so I'm going to change that into a 4x and an x. See what happens now. Okay, I'm now going to switch the numbers around. So I'm going to put a 3 here and a 5 here. Okay, so 4x times 3x makes 12x. Okay, so I'm going to put a plus here. And then if I put a minus here, 12x, okay, so 4x here times that makes 4x squared. 4x times plus 3 is plus 12x, or positive 12x. Then I've got minus 5x here, or negative 5x. 12x take 5x makes 7x. Then I've got minus 3 times minus 5 here times plus 3 here makes minus 15. So yes, that is correct. Okay, so if I solve it now, okay, so either the first bracket equals 0 or the second bracket equals 0. Okay, so either 4x minus 5 equals 0, okay, from our first bracket, so x is equal to 5 over 4, okay, or 5 quarters here from the first bracket, or x is equal to -3 or -3 from the second bracket. But we've got a condition, okay, from the first part of the question where x must be greater than 0. So we have to obviously disregard the negative here or the minus solution. So the value of x, guys, is 5/4 or 5 quarters or 1 1/4 or 1.25. Okay, so I'm going to put OE for equivalent. Okay, but yeah, that is our answer, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but yeah, okay, so that is one of the hardest like ratio problems that I've seen. Okay, on like a typical like GCSE paper. Okay, just because there's certain rules here that you might not obviously. And I don't want to blame the teachers for this year, but you might not been taught it yet in school. Okay, but when you have two ratios here that are equal to one another, it's very important. So if I have A to B, okay, equals C to D, then I can say that A over B, so A divided by B, okay, has to equal or can equal, okay, to C over D, okay? So that is just a rule to remember, okay? And then I could obviously cross multiply and obviously solve, okay? So I'll get AD is equal to BC, okay? And then I can obviously work from there, okay? As long as obviously, B and D in this case, are like non-zero terms, okay? But hopefully that makes sense, okay? But yeah, definitely a tricky question. If you want more practice on this year, just look at like Maths Genie or Maths Made Easier, like ratio questions here involving algebra, so algebraic ratio problems. But yeah, this is like the same process that we have every single time. Thank you.